Draph says, how do I compete with you on maps like this? This is a scary. I'm surprised. Draph could have banned this map? No.
Draph banned Facility and Who Knows 2. And I believe those two are actually maps that were Saxton maps. So they were accurate bans, but Saxton has a third map and it's Sand Trap.
I don't think Draph was watching when he saw Sand Trap before. This is very, very much a Saxton map, but who knows? Draph's upset before. Maybe he can do it again. Let's see how this goes. They're both off.
Yeah, we're going to keep the camera on Saxton. This is his map. It's his job to set the tone. But as we've seen, Saxton kind of doesn't play it safe at all. He just goes for optimal runs and that's it. And as you've seen from his previous matches, the maps that he loses, he gets demolished. And on the maps that he wins, it's literally the opposite affair. He just crushes his opponent. It's kind of not really been that close, except for the last match against Roldar, where it was close. But that was the only close match he's had. Every other match has been just easy win or easy loss. No in between.
I think it comes down to the fact that Saxton he's a grindy type of surfer. He's kind of like Trufflecopter or Cinza in that way, where when he wants a record, he will spend many hours trying to get the perfect run. And that kind of makes it so that he has this small pool of a few maps that he's just completely unbeatable on, because he spent so many hours on them. So you can't really ban him out at all. He's always going to have a map that he can own you on.
Yeah, I've actually found it interesting. Oh my god. I thought he was surely going to fail there. He has so much speed. He just skimmed the top of that obstacle. But unfortunately,
no.
He screws up the ending. But I've been surprised. This tournament, myself and only the event coordinators know which maps were picked by which players for the entire map pool. A lot of players have not picked their own maps, whereas Saxton has been very consistent about his own map picks, picking what he's comfortable with, and it's worked out very well for him.
Yeah, and I kind of want to, I'm showing my bias as a caster a little bit here, but I kind of want everyone who's watching, who's not familiar with Saxton, to really look at the way he's surfing and how smooth he is and how good it looks. Saxton is dedicated to the aesthetics of surf, I think. He wants his surf to look good, and that's why his sensitivity is what it is.
Yeah, for those that don't know, we've been saying this throughout the entire tournament. Saxton has a 3-foot 360. You can probably calculate that into centimeters, but that's how long it takes for him to do a 360. He has the lowest sensitivity in the entire tournament. He has the lowest sensitivity of anyone I know by a lot.
It's not 3 feet. It's 3 feet and 9 inches. It's 115.
Oh my god!
It's 115 centimeters. It's to the point where I'm pretty sure, like, I don't have any data on this, but I don't think I would be lying if I said that he's probably the lowest sensitivity high-level gamer in the world. Like, I'm sure there's some guy out there that has lower sensitivity, but he's probably the guy in the literal world who has the lowest sensitivity, who's actually using it for something useful.
Yeah. I mean, there might be some CSGO players, because a lot of, like, professional CSGO players have it low, but, like, that low is, like...
That sensitivity is completely useless for, like, actually shooting people. I mean, it took you half an hour to fucking turn around.
Can we go next, says Draph, as Saxton does get his run in. It's not optimal for Saxton. I think Saxton has close to the world record, if not the world record on this map, so it's probably good enough. Draph is about 2 seconds behind him. And Saxton says, you got this. Okay.
That was brutal.
Okay. But yeah, we're going to switch to Draph. And again, you really cannot discount Draph. Like, it's so easy to, but like, you can't. He's almost in the grand finals.
Right, and Saxton is potentially very, very weak in the tiebreak, because as I said, his map pool is very narrow.
That is true. And honestly, the tiebreaker actually might be good for Saxton. It is Surf Resort.
And that's a big open linear, which really supports his low sensitivity and his skill. So
yeah, there's no like crazy sharp angles or anything. It's kind of smooth like this, but a lot faster.
Oh, that's such an interesting tiebreaker map. Saxton is rank 5. He is 1.13 behind the record, and Draph is rank 7, 1.2 behind the record. So it'll be close.
And again, like as we mentioned earlier, Saxton is super good at a certain set of maps, and we are all, at least in the casters here, are not expecting him to be able to perform too hot on Dynamics. I think that was an extremely smart pick by Draph, because yeah, I don't think Dynamics is really a map that Saxton can excel at. So as you can see, Saxton just easily won this map, but I think it might be the inverse for the next map.
Saxton
So we might be assuredly going to a tiebreaker on this one.
at least Draph got on the board here. He did do a little bit of a fail right towards the end, so he could definitely get an easy improve, but we'll just have to see where he goes. Yeah, he's really trying to cut all the corners he can.
Yeah,
Saxton
if you could
also got an
explain,
improve.
I think Morning might be able to explain like how a map like this functions, because when we're watching it, to like the untrained eye, it might not make sense like as to why like certain times are faster than others. Like obviously if you cut an angle better, it's generally going to be faster, but there's more factors involved, especially on a map like this.
A map like this is all about how you do the ramps. So you wanna really cut your how do I explain this? You wanna really land on the ramp well and smoothly, and maintain your speed throughout the map. That's kind of that's why it's kind of not obvious what times are faster than others, because the route is kind of similar from a slow run to a fast run, but the fast run will just be going faster doing the same route. And yeah, as you said, cutting corners and doing stuff just a slight bit tighter, and all those little parts that you do better, they'll add.
Yeah, because this run by Draph right now looks good. And it actually is good, but it's just not nearly as good as Saxton's run. It's like almost a second, it's actually a second slower, even though it genuinely looks like a pretty good run. So all the things that Mornings just explained like come into play, and why like a lower sensitivity can kind of, I mean, Draph has a low sensitivity too, just Saxton's sensitivity is just like leagues lower than everybody else's.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, Draph has the kind of standard. Yeah, he has the 60 centimeter sensitivity, which is about it's just under 2 feet, which is kind of on the low side of the standard sensitivity, which is around half a meter for a 360, which is what most people use in surf.
Yeah. And it doesn't look like Draph is going to be able to beat this time. I think, yeah, he's about a full second behind, and getting a full second on a map like this is very, very difficult. We'll see what he can do, and it's going to be a similar situation. I'm going to go out and say it's definitely going to be a similar situation for Saxton. As long as Draph can get a run in, I think he'll be fine as far as forcing a tiebreaker goes. But you never know. Like, these are the best players in the world. You never really know what they have up their sleeve. Like, these map picks and bans have... they happened about a half an hour before the map started. So the players have had a little bit of extra time to practice the maps that they're not comfortable with. So you never know. Saxton might come in with all guns blazing.
Definitely, I think the little practice time they had before is more of refamiliarization with the maps. I don't think that it's enough time to really pro-track the map again, you know, if they're really not familiar with it. So, Draph is painting here, it looks like.
The capital GG, it looks like.
He's calling
Or
it.
QQ, who knows? He is calling it. 30 seconds left there. Or maybe he's calling his victory. Maybe that's his victory paint.
Wouldn't that be the plot twist?
So yeah, to contextualize this once again, Saxton from TF2. He was actually a last-minute addition to the event when Shuffle was unable to make it. And here he is, about to win the first map of the semifinals, best of 3 versus Draph, and potentially walk his way into the grand finals. And Draph, on the other hand, pretty much picked as like the lowest, the easiest opponent by pretty much all the players in the tournament. And again, he's also on the verge of making the grand finals. So big stories for both of these players. And the timer's up. Draph gives up. Saxton, 1-0 Norway. It's up to Draph to win his own map now.
Sax is actually on an incredible run right now too.
Wow. Okay.
Just another
Saxton
improve.
He gets a god mode run. All right. All right. But again, I cannot express how good of a map pick this is, in my opinion, for Draph. I think he's well aware that Saxton is inexperienced on this map.
Yeah, and
So if
Saxton might,
Saxton
break
can't
his
do this,
arm, actually.
yeah, if Saxton can't do this first shortcut, I think there's a 0% chance of him winning. And the first shortcut is hard.
I'm almost
Nim-
sure that Saxton will be able to figure it.
Yeah. Nim and Draph made it look easy on their previous match, but it is not easy and it is extremely significant.
He's actually
Yeah, so
trying
you-
it right now. Struggling a little bit. We'll see what happens. And it's kind of lucky that it's at the beginning of the map for him, because if it was later into the map, practicing that would be a little rough.
Oh yeah, he'd have no time to do it. But since it, yeah, like you said, since it's at the start, he basically just practices it no matter what he does. Just in-run practice.
Draph nailing the skip first try.
Yeah, but
Saxton got it.
Yeah. So difficult to spin down that that shoot there with that sense of Saxton's.
And how does he do it? Like, I'm assuming he's not using his sensitivity, like his mouse, right? He's using like a turn bind of some kind. If you can,
Yeah, he's
you
using
guys
a
can
lot
explain
of
that?
turn bind.
Like, what exactly is a turn bind?
A turn bind is just a button that you press, and it will turn your view at a certain rate. So there is certain console commands that change how fast your turn binds turn. And in recent years, it's become very popular to use low turn rate turn binds to kind of aid your move. And earlier on, there were a lot of people in the chat, or not a lot, but there was a few people in the chat kind of saying that turn binds are cheating and they're not legit and stuff. And that is definitely not true.
It's the way I would describe it is that if you're not experienced in surf, I would 100% empathize with why you'd think it was a cheat, because yeah, you're pressing a button to turn. Like, that's so weird. But in reality, it's more of like an extra control you have to learn. Like, you can't just set up a turn bind and immediately start doing well. It's actually extremely awkward and difficult to get used to when you first start using turn binds, especially when it comes to parts. Yeah, especially when it comes to anything. Like, I implore you guys, if you guys are surfers and you have not used a turn bind, to give yourself a turn bind and see how it fares. You're probably going to struggle, but it's one of those things that it will allow you to get better the more you use it. It'll, instead of being something weird and janky, it'll become a tool to allow you to optimize your run.
Definitely, and expanding off of that, you not only you have to get used to a turn bind, it's almost required in some maps, because if you want to maintain a low sensitivity, there's a lot of quick spins in certain maps where you almost need it to actually complete, you know, like sort of like a windmill or just another tight angle that you would normally have to up your sensitivity for.
Yeah, there are parts on certain maps where it's like literally designed to like have a turn bind. I think there's a map called Surf Blub, maybe, that you have to do a crazy spin on the last stage, just a bunch of spins, and it's like, hey, this is a turn bind part. Like these type of spins that Draph is doing right there, that's basically the mapper indicating like you need to use your turn bind now, unless you have extremely high sensitivity and you can spin around that much. So yeah, it's cool. It's another interesting little mechanic. I think Surf is full of tiny mechanics that you discover over time, and it's something easy to learn and difficult to master, as you can see from these players playing right now.
Yeah, Surf is it's a very deep game. In my opinion, it's the best. It's the best game.
Yeah, I would agree, for sure.
It's just beautiful, you know, especially when Saxton's surfing.
It sounds like you got a crush on him, but there's nothing wrong with that. He's got a nice sensitivity, you know. And yeah, I was gonna expand upon that, but I forgot what I was gonna say, so it's okay. Oh yeah, there's nothing like Surf. There's really nothing like Surf except for like racing games where you do time trials. That's like the closest thing there is to Surf that exists. That's why
it's really funny
Surf
that
is so unique.
In my opinion, the closest game that isn't Surf to Surf is probably Trackmania.
I was thinking that while I was saying that too. It is actually, and it's nothing like it. You know what I mean? Like the way the timer works and whatnot, and how there's intricate mechanics are similar, but like the act of playing both games is so different.
People are saying B-hop in chat, like obviously B-hop, but
you know what? I would actually encapsulate surfing, B-hop, and KZ kind of all into like the same thing.
Yeah, that was the same way I was thinking.
They all use the same mechanics, but there are certain parts of the mechanics that you need for all three of the games are more important for each game mode.
Draph just improved his time by 3 seconds, so 5 minutes remaining. Saxton is yet to actually get a completion here.
Yeah, this is tough for Saxton. We mentioned many times that both players are kind of just outclassed on the maps that their opponents picks. So things are going according to plan for both players right now. The tiebreaker map is very good for both players, so it should be a banger of a semifinals tiebreaker here if Saxton can't beat Draph here.
Yeah, it's a super perfect tiebreaker map. And you know, I mean, if it's past, oh man, Saxton hits the window there, and that's such a annoying thing because that glass is completely invisible if you don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if his past rounds have been any indicator, Saxton has a tendency to, yeah, as you said, try to be very perfect, and that might come back to bite him here in the tiebreaker if he doesn't win.
Yeah, I also think it could come into play where maybe he gets a really good time right away and Draph might not be able to beat it. That is the other opposite end of that playstyle, is just playing super close. There are ways to play very conservatively. For example, if you're on a quote-unquote good run, you can kind of play it safe at the end, depending on the map, to just finish, just to make sure you get a finish. But Saxton, out of all the players in the entire tourney, has not played it safe at all on any of the maps. He is just gunning it, which is admirable. Very admirable.
Yeah, he's definitely a player to not settle. It's either his best run or his no run. He's definitely struggling at the first skip here more than the others. I've definitely noticed that.
The thing is that if you don't, when you do that shortcut, if you don't move your mouse fast enough, you'll hit your head on the ceiling. and for Saxton, it's probably very difficult to move his mouse fast enough. Hits the glass again, invisible glass.
I genuinely don't know if he knows that there's like slots on either side of that are open. This map is a little. It takes a little bit to learn.
Yeah, this was a very smart pick for Draph. He's not necessarily amazing on the map himself, but he knows it's gonna completely mess Saxton up.
Oh, and he got super confident earlier when he beat him on it, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that like kind of Draph has that not many other players have, is like the forethought to make a decision like that. I just feel like he's more of like a meta gamer type of person, as well as obviously a top level surfer. So he's giving himself as much of an advantage as he possibly can. Because this map is not a map that Draph added to the map pool. He could have picked a safer map that he is quote unquote more comfortable on, but he knew, as you said, that Saxton would just have like no chance on this map. So I definitely commend Draph's pick on this.
Draph about to finish another one. Oh, no, there's the end.
Was he ahead of world record? I
Yeah,
think
but
he was.
Just under 60 seconds left. Still no completion from Saxton, unfortunately, so I think everyone wants to see the tiebreaker map anyway. That's going to be the closest map of the three.
Yeah, chat, you guys are going to need to get your saxophones out, and I'm not sure if you guys want to keep doing graphs for Draph, but those are the two emotes for each player. Saxophones for Saxton, graphs for Draph. It looks like we're going to be going into a tiebreaker. This may be the last run of this map here. He makes it through.
He's finally.
Oh, he can still go. Keep going. Come on, Saxton, give it a try. Oh, come on. Not at all. Mind if I have Kush to resort for me? Not at all. The bants are pretty good. So Draph goes up, evens the score, and we are going to the tiebreaker map. I cannot wait. This could potentially be the map of the entire tournament here. And thank you, Sneak, once again, for switching the map.
I think this is going to be the closest map by far for both of them. Because it was just kind of a wash either way, both maps.
And Morning, could you reiterate like what the ranks of each player is on this map? I think they're 6 and 7.
Yeah, Saxton is rank 5 and Draph is rank 7, and the difference between them is less than 1/10 of a second.
That's crazy. I don't think there's any other map in the map pool that could provide for that close of a macro scenario. Draph is ready though. Saxton's ready. We're just gonna get this on the road. Again, whoever wins this map is guaranteed $250.
Saxton has played the map for 1 hour and 6 minutes, and Draph has played the map for 1 hour and 8 minutes.
That's okay. You couldn't write this, honestly. Here we go. But yeah, chat, it's up to you.
Oh yeah, people are saying in chat that he's played it in TF2. That's probably true. Still doesn't account for the times being that close.
It's true.
It's gonna be a nail biter here, I think. Generally, I think all the matches that Saxton have been in here have been really good.
Yeah, the Roldar tiebreaker was so good.
Yeah.
Roldar almost clutched at the end, but Saxton did get the run that he wanted, which was good enough. Should we restart for Draph? Yeah. Alright, we're gonna restart.
I think that's the first little technical issue we've had all day, so that's good.
Okay. Yeah, we should be able to restart just fine. Big shout out to KSF and Untouched for coding this in-game timer, which makes it super easy for the in-game timer and the stream overlay timer to be synced. So that's what we're gonna do. Hopefully Draph's computer is not, his graphics card isn't, you know, on fire right now, because apparently his textures are a little messed up.
I think he's double checking right now.
He's looking at the wall. I think he's typing up something. 100-word essay coming in the chat any second now. Never mind. He says, okay, we good. Sad face on the wall. Ready up, and let's get this show on the road. All right, good sportsmanship from Saxton. It was pretty much up to him to let Draph reset there, and he did. The winner will be facing Green Void in the finals, and the loser will be facing Koosh in the bronze match, both of which are huge opponents.
Someone just said Koosh logged onto his account now.
That actually,
200
we'll see.
IQ.
That would be cheating. That's what you'd call cheating. We'll see.
And Koosh is reluctant to play in the bronze match because he said he was so tired, but I think he's still motivated to win at least some money, right?
Yeah, there's $100 on the line for the bronze match, so he can persevere for 3 maps, I think. Maybe even 2. He might win 2-0. You never know. All right. Draph is on a run. I want to say it's not particularly good, but getting runs in is important.
Yeah, especially with the fact that Saxton is liable to not, or Saxton has potential to not even finish if he tries too hard.
Yeah, this is a pretty lengthy map, and
we're already seeing resets from both of them right early on. So,
and in all honesty, like after seeing Koosh play this map, it seems like neither player is like at Koosh's level on this map. So,
but I mean, Koosh was about it to get the record. So yeah, I mean,
it's true.
No one is really on level on this.
Yeah, Saxton is on a run. He actually looks like he's safing it right now, unless he doesn't know the map very well.
Yeah, that's kind of weird that he goes on the right side there on that ramp. That's.
I want to say that's just not correct, right?
Yeah, it might be a kind of weird thing where it doesn't matter because all you need to do is just descend, and you will descend at the same rate. It might be something like that, but it definitely looks slower.
Because he's doing 2 things that are not what the world record... Well, now 3 things that the world record doesn't do. But he is going to get a map completion. Or he's just going to overshoot the
just
ending.
Missed it.
Alright, so Saxton just learned where the end zone of the map is. Live on stream. And, yeah, that might be pretty important. To be fair, to his defense, that run was not particularly good. I think he's more than capable of getting a better run. So
bit of a repeat of the tiebreak of Cinza versus Saxton on Placid, where Saxton kind of didn't know what the end zone was. He just landed under it and jumped onto it.
Saxton learning where the ends of the maps are. And for a lot of people might not know that's a shortcut. And some of what Saxton probably thought is that the end of the map was just like a wall above that platform where he just had to cross that plane. But the end of the map is actually just like a tiny rectangle on the actual platform. So you can complete it while in the air, but you have to just be very, very low.
And it's pretty funny because Saxton overshot it, and about a second later, a Draph just undershot it. So it was just a double fail right there.
Yeah, neither player has a completion. If the timer expires with neither player having a completion, the first person to complete the map will win no matter what. So we'll see.
We have spam this alien to help this Australian in chat.
That's pretty good.
I love
pretty
it.
good. I like it more than the Graph one.
Definitely.
Graph was pretty good, but this is an upgrade. For sure. I don't know if you can upgrade the saxophone for Saxton, but that's also quite nice. All right, so Draph, as you can see on the left side there of that ramp, and he's also gonna probably board the left side of this ramp here, which Saxton doesn't do either of those things, and I don't know if it's slower. I want to say it is, especially the second part there. As long as Draph doesn't choke this, he should be able to get a time logged. This ending is pretty free as long as he gets a nice board on this ramp, which he does.
The ending is free if you moonshot it, which potentially loses you a lot of time. So it's not. I wouldn't.
What?
What?
He didn't even complete.
Draph, no! Oh no! Okay, both players really.
He wasn't satisfied with that run.
He pressed his restart bind before he landed.
Yeah, based on what he put in chat, he wanted the completion, but he preemptively just hit his reset button before it registered.
Now that genuinely could have been a blunder.
That is a blunder, absolutely.
Oh no! I think he needs more aliens for the Australian. If you want him to win,
maybe he got abducted right before the end.
Chat abducted him.
Yeah. I think going to the right there is not slower, actually, Kurt. Now that I think of it, I think it's actually it's an illusion that.
I think the next part when he went. The next part is actually slower though. Maybe, I don't know. But right now, Saxton's looking to put the first time on the board. Again, ending is free, but it is very easy to overshoot the ending and lose a lot of time in the air. And Saxton is not going to lose too much time in the air there. He gets pretty clean ending there.
That's a respectable
10:30.
time there.
And again, Saxton, from his origin, he was born in TF2, Surf. He's come to Counter-Strike Surf to dominate, and that's exactly what he's been doing in this tournament as well. Draph, his storyline. Every player thought he was the lowest seed in the tournament, essentially. And here he is, on the verge of making the grand finals.
Yeah, it's been brains over brawn here for Draph.
Yeah, and he also put a very respectable upset on Nim. Like beating someone on their own map, especially a map like that, Dynamics, is extremely impressive.
And it was really interesting to see. I was kind of keeping an eye on who's practicing throughout the week, and definitely Draph. He was kind of putting on a show, saying, "Oh no, I don't need to practice this and that," but he was on quite a bit. He was taking this time. He was making sure he knew all those maps. So I don't want to say he was ever really the underdog, because he was probably putting in more time than anybody else that I saw.
I agree. And, Draph showing that hard work pays off. And I really don't know. We can probably check the VOD and see what his time would have been, kind of, maybe, if he didn't restart. It was probably just a couple tenths of a second after he reset. That's probably what his time would have been.
I think he goes a hair faster than Saxton's time too, which will really, really burn him if he doesn't beat him here.
And he's obviously more than capable of doing it again, but that could be a huge tilting factor. I had that run and now it's gone.
It was just over 2 minutes left, so we still haven't seen a completion. He's had over 8 minutes to try to complete the map. It's getting a little bit worrisome for Draph here.
It's just like the Red Sea ramp glitch, except he pressed a button to glitch him.
Yeah, that is actually so unfortunate for Red Sea. He would actually be probably in this tournament still if that didn't happen.
I mean, he would, right? He would have won that map, then he won the next.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you never know how things would have panned out if he ended up winning that map, you know? And Draph, unfortunate. He's cutting it super close. But you know what? He's going for an optimal time, and I think that's what he thinks he needs to beat Saxton here. Saxton, 1 minute and 10 seconds. 2.3 away from the world record. And a lot of that time comes from how you do the ending.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you go too high at the end, you will lose a lot of time. So with nerves, the end of this map is very sadistic.
All right, chat. Give Draph your aliens for the Australian. If you want Saxton to prevail, you got to put some saxophones in chat. This is down to the wire. Whoever wins this goes to the grand finals of Surf's Up winter 2019. End of winter 2019. Draph is probably going to get a run in.
Oh boy.
He needs to snipe the ending.
He needs to just not reset here.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Is it a snipe? Oh my god, he has enough time to restart. He has enough time for another run. He went for the snipe though. I can respect that.
He needed to. That end is such a heartbreaker.
We really need to check the VOD at some point before the end of the stream and see if his reset actually just cost him his entire tournament.
This is still very close, and Draph can still take this.
This is his last run.
They'll call it the $650 reset button.
It very much could have been. He is not going to be happy about that if he loses this map because of it. But with that said, he is in the process of clutching it out right now.
You can definitely see the nerves in Draph's mouth.
Oh no.
Oh,
and that's
no.
the end of that's the end for Draph. If Saxton gets a good time here, it might loosen the pain. In fact, Saxton is going to get a way better time. He just got a top 5 time. And that was actually Saxton's last run too. This time would have counted. So I guess that kind of relieves the pain for Draph there. Holy crap. Saxton in the grand finals. Before we get to the grand finals, we're going to do the bronze match. So Draph, if you're listening to the stream, stick around. We're going to do the bronze match, and then we are going to head to the grand finals.